visible renewal, we have brought together government and the private sector in a way our city has not seen in many years. The CEO, a City Partnership Program, is a commitment to collective leadership, shared accountability, and practical action. It is proof that when we unite, government, business, and communities, we unlock the real power of our city. Tomorrow, Johannesburg's top CEOs will roll up their sleeves and join our teams on the ground to take part in visible cleanup and revitalization work across priority precincts. We begin in the inner city core and Braamfontein, then we'll move to Hillbrow, Berea, and Uven. And finally, we'll move to Soweto in Kliptown, the home of the Freedom Charter and the soul of our democracy. These precincts are economic engines, transport hubs, cultural centers, and heritage landmarks. When they work, we believe Johannesburg will work. This program is strongly supported by the city's bomb squad team, our specialized implementation team that has been driving rapid, coordinated interventions across Johannesburg. Their mission is straightforward: to fix what is broken, clean what is dirty, enforce where there is lawlessness, and restore dignity to our communities. But let it be clear, this is not a 3-day campaign. This is not a once-off activation for cameras, but this marks the beginning of a sustained partnership that will transform the way we manage Johannesburg. It represents the foundation for public-private cooperation that is long overdue, and it is the first step in rebuilding a city that is clean, safe, functional, and globally competitive. To the CEOs who have answered this call, I extend my sincere gratitude. Your presence is more than symbolic. It demonstrates that leadership is not about positions. Leadership is about participation. To our officials, regional directors, frontline teams, and the bomb squad, thank you for your hard work, dedication, and unwavering commitment to restoring pride in Johannesburg. And to the people of Johannesburg, this is your city. Please stand with us, hold us accountable, join us in protecting spaces we are restoring. Johannesburg belongs to all of us. Its revival will come from all of us. As we begin the CEO City Cleanup campaign tomorrow, let us carry one message into every street, every precinct, and every community. One city, one vision, one partnership. Now let me report on the work of the bomb squad, which I thought it was important to share with you. Whether we call it the bomb squad or Joburg's rapid response team, the bomb squad was established in 2025 as a centralized hub for the high impact, high visibility service delivery acceleration. In its first 100 days, the team has shown decisive leadership, seamless coordination, and measurable improvements across the city service delivery ecosystem. Conceived as the executive mayor's eyes and ears on the ground, the bomb squad has become the city's fastest acting mechanism, reducing the time between incident reporting and the final resolution of the issue. In this regard, or in this period, the team has achieved an 86% resolution rate across 42 major escalations, processed 727 service cases, and completed at least 89% of restoration on the same day, even in some of the most complex service environments across the metro. The bomb squad operates through the inside-outside governance rhythm inside the organization. the daily and weekly mayoral service delivery and finance war rooms, bringing together the executive mayor, the city manager, the chief operation officer, and the heads of all municipal entities. These platforms help the city track revenue collection, which now exceeds 200 million per day, unblock capital expenditure challenges, and ensure that we are audit ready, disciplined, and service focused. Outside of the organization, the street war room interventions take senior leadership directly into communities through the show up, show out, walkabout model. Multi-departmental teams deliver immediate and visible progress, restorations that residents can witness and verify on the spot. This approach has united 8 of the city's key entities into a single coordinated response system, ensuring that escalations, decision-making, and closure processes are fast, transparent, and verifiable. The result of this work are visible across all regions. In the Barra precinct and Dobsonville in Region D, the bomb squad has restored parks, pruned overgrown trees, repaired sewer, removed illegal structures, and rehabilitated bridges. In Newville and De Villiers Street corridor in Region F, illegal electricity connections have been dismantled, and a 7-year water blockage was resolved within 24 hours. And major deep cleaning and precinct revitalization efforts are underway. In Alexander and Ivory Park, Region A, the bomb squad restored power to 1,200 households in a single day, supported progress on the BRT system along Rivonia Road, and reopened swimming pools and community sporting facilities. In Roodepoort, Region G, Region C, illegal training hotspots, scrap yards, and major dumping sites have been dismantled through coordinated enforcement operations. Residents are already feeling these efforts. Letters from the Rivonia Residents Association, the Westcliff Residents Association, the Joburg Chamber of Commerce and Industry reflect a rising confidence in the city's ability to respond, resolve, and restore. This is how trust is rebuilt, through results that people can see. The bomb squad has also formalized new channels of cooperation with residents associations, business chambers, and ensuring community concerns are escalated early, verified quickly, and resolved transparently. Shared dashboards are more transparent communication, and improved tracking tools are reinforcing this trust and providing accountability at every stage. We remain honest about the challenges that lie ahead. Persistent backlogs, vandalism and illegal dumping, and enforcement gaps continue to test the city. To address these challenges, we will expand our communications nerve center to ensure that all service delivery communications are evidence-led and transparent. And we will strengthen bylaws and enforcement and reforms, including harsher penalties and expanded empowerment powers. We will intensify public-private partnership in our precinct pilots to help sustain cleanups and infrastructure upgrades. We'll continue our weekly war rooms to maintain discipline and momentum on agent services, including street lights, potholes, sewer spills, and waste collection. Let me state clearly, the bomb squad has introduced a new culture of agency and accountability in Johannesburg. It has shown that when we coordinate, when we act together, and we stay focused on results, progress can be made within hours, not months. We also reaffirm that the Joburg turnaround plan continues decisively beyond major events like the G20. as outlined in the State of the City address. The turnaround plan is the backbone of our service delivery renewal and the foundation upon which we are building a stronger, more capable city. The support we are receiving from residents inspires confidence and reminds us that we cannot and will not fail the people of this great city. Together, working together, we will restore Joburg's dignity, rebuild public trust, and reclaim the greatness of our city. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and let's get to work.
Thank you, Executive Mayor. I'm going to open the floor for questions. You can just raise your hand, introduce yourself, and to whom your question is directed to, either the Executive Mayor or the members of the bomb squad. I'll start here.
Good day, it's Nkosinathi Shazi from Power FM News. I just have three questions, apologies, two for the Mayor and one for Mr. Snoki Zigalala. Firstly, Mayor, just to comment on the job that you've been doing, particularly in the CBD. We see the municipality is working hard, cleaning the city ahead of the G20, so your work really is commendable in the past couple of weeks. But just to get into action, we are set to host the G20 next week. I just wanted to find out from you, the city of Joburg, are you guys ready to host the G20 Summit? And I just wanted to get a comment. On the M1, there was a poster that was put up by Solidarity. Solidarity, of course, represents the Afrikaans community. And in that poster, it was written, "Welcome to South Africa, one of the most race-regulated countries in the world." Of course, that poster was taken down. Was it taken down by you? And just your comment on that. And then we've also seen a number of people vandalize branding G20 across the city. So just your comment on that. And then just with regards to the bomb squad, I heard you mentioning some of the achievements, but why is the bomb squad cleaning sewage, dismantling illegal structures, and cleaning parks? I mean, is that their mandate? And then my last question, with the G20 set to be hosted next week, Mr. Zigalala, are there any threats, any bomb threats? Have you guys received any intelligence of potential threats with G20? Thank you very much.
It's Alex Patrick from News 24. Yeah, I also want to congratulate the bomb squad. I've heard amazing things about the work that you've done. If you could just take us through how things work, because I mean, a 7-year water backlog restored in 24 hours. I mean, it shows you it can be done. What are you doing differently? How does it happen? Does somebody call you and then you send people out? Can you just take us through that process? Thank you.
Hello, this is Christian Duplessis from Netwerk 24. Maybe just on a point my colleague raised, solidarity maybe necessarily does not represent the whole Afrikaans community. Anyway, Mayor, I have a few questions for you, and this is in relation to the G20. Can you give a detailed overview of the upgrades of roads and traffic lights in preparation for the G20? And there have been some critiques. I saw a cartoon this morning. What do you say to critique that the upgrades are just like putting lipstick on a pig? What do you say about critique that only some parts of the city is being upgraded, while other parts and communities have been asking for upgrades for years, but they haven't received any upgrade yet? And will this work being done in preparation for the G20 be continued after? Will these upgrades continue? Thank you.
You said your name is?
It's Christian Duplessis from Netwerk 24.
Thank you. Yeah.
Hi, Karin Duplessis. I work for the Africa Report. I have a question about, well, One of my questions is about billing. I'm not sure if the bomb squad is engaged in sorting billing issues, but I spent a few hours on Saturday during an open day on Marks Park where residents came to sort their billing issues, water bills of 100,000. I have a colleague who had her 50,000 water bill reduced to 41 Rand after it was sorted. And I just want to know from perhaps, the mayor and some members of the bomb squad, perhaps Mrs. Sikilala, how much are you paying for rates for water and for electricity? And how have your bills increased since the beginning of the year? A lot of residents are complaining of increases that they cannot afford. And I'm not also sure if you have any details about cuts when people don't pay. How many households have been cut in the past? Maybe say since the bills increased. I think it was April, the financial year. How many residents have been cut off, and how many have sort of reconnected? Because there's a lot of reports about buildings going dark because of this issue of I think the billing system. I think there's a recognition that the billing system is erroneous, and that it's difficult to resolve these issues. But well done on the open day. I think a lot of people walked out of there very happy. And then just the last question, the bomb squad itself. I think when it was established, there were some questions as to the framework within which this bomb squad is established. Is the bomb squad do they act like a mayoral advisor? Are they employed as advisors? And I also know that some of them work as volunteers. What's the budget for the bomb squad? Thank you.
I'm willing to go for the second round because I think there's a lot of questions. So
Yeah.
I'll wait for the second round.
Executive Mayor.
Somebody asked about solidarity. It's you. Let's respond in this fashion. Firstly, the billboard was not approved. For you to put up a billboard in the city, you undergo a process of approvals, then it gets approved. If it's not approved, then you still continue. It means you have violated the bylaws. We remove it, and we also have the right to take you to court so that we can sort you out and teach you a lesson. But in teaching a lesson, it's also important that you put the political constitution of South Africa begins with the word that says, we, I quote, we the people of South Africa. That's an important part because it outlines the people of South Africa. And in defining the people of South Africa, it goes further to say those who live in South Africa. Now it's an affirmation that citizens of this country are recognized on the basis of being citizens, not on the basis of race. Now it becomes very incorrect for solidarity to suggest that this is a race-regulated country. And deliberately, solidarity ignores the fact that part of the transformation process is to address the imbalances of the past where a particular section of society was disenfranchised, oppressed, and suppressed. It is through this transformation and the constitution of this country that today we've got the first black female CEO at First National Bank. So it's an indication of this transformative agenda in this country. So it will be incorrect to suggest that we are a race-regulated country. In fact, we are a country that encourages diversity more than any other country. Otherwise, Alex would not have been here if we were a race-regulated country. We would have said only particular section of journalists should come if we were a race-regulated country. And some of our departments in the city would not have been led by other by people of another race. So it's incorrect, and I think a message must be sent that in fact that statement perpetuates racism and divisions in this country and should not be allowed, and solidarity must be condemned. There's a question around the issues around we are ready for the G20. We have another meeting today at 2. Yesterday we had a meeting at 8 where we're looking at the final touches to ensure that we deliver. The venue is ready with everything that needs to be there. The role that was played by the city was to ensure that we deal with the I must find the right English word, to deal with the outside of the venue in terms of gardening, ensuring that there's trees, there's flowers. That part was played by our City Parks Department. They've done an outstanding work. On the M1, on the freeway, there's work that we had needed to do, replacement of rail guards, which we have done quite successfully, ensuring that the grass is cut, which is our work and our mandate as the city, to continue to cut grass. So the G20 is ready to be hosted in the city of Johannesburg. But I need to also say, Johannesburg has already hosted more than 8 meetings of the G20. So this is basically the culmination of those meetings through a summit. That is then the heads of states will be having that 2-day meeting. Now, yes, Alex, you would have had instances where there's been a water leak or a sewer leak for the longest of time and not being attended to. You know, when we came in the city, we said there's management constraints that needed to be addressed to get the management team to a level at which they understand the agency of the work that we should do, which then culminated in our Lekgotla in November at Orlando Stadium, where we then said these are the 3 priorities of overall of the 12. We'll focus on bylaw enforcement, service delivery, which in service delivery, it's infrastructure, refurbishment and development. We then said in May, we are setting up a budget to respond to the challenges that we identified at the Lekgotla in November and agreed to. Then we put the funded budget in May. Now, in terms of the Municipal Management Act, Finance Act, it means you adopt a budget in May, but you then start spending the budget on the 1st of July, which is the beginning of the financial year of the municipality. Now we started with spending on our budget. That's why we are responding aggressively. And the team has also helped us to escalate to management and also give advice. Because some of them have been in the city, some of the team members are engineers, they've got knowledge that they've also imparted to senior management and to push management on responding to some of these things. And we want to constantly do that work through the bomb squad, which has come as a team that has really helped us a lot to get things done on the basis that some of them and majority of the team members are former city managers, CEOs, etc., etc. And they are really making us to work better. And those who know Dr. Snooki is one persistent individual who would want things to be done and will follow up until the matter is done. So the team has really brought a lot of change within. Now the team is not the actual people responsible for unblocking. There's management, there's teams. Theirs is to ensure they help us to push management to respond. So they don't go in and unblock. I would imagine smoking overalls trying to unblock a sewer. it can't be possible. So the teams do the work, but they help us to push because they've got access. Residents associations can talk directly to the team to say, hey, in my ward, this thing has been standing. We have reported it. Then they will follow up and make the necessary noise. And it has helped us a lot. There's an issue that you have raised on the tariffs. Let me put it into context. I just missed the name again, but from Karen. In relation to your question, you'd know that NERSA and ESCOM will arrive at setting up a particular tariff. And I think this year it was around 14.5%, if I'm not wrong. When we passed the budget, we didn't increase the tariff. We did what is called a pass-on. So we took as the tariff from ESCOM and we passed it on to our consumers. Because we are alive to the fact that they're already stressed and the city can add another percentage point because it will cripple our customers. Similar with the sewer, we had to increase it a bit because there are new projects that we needed also to undertake and respond to the challenges around sewer. So we tried to manage it without really increasing the tariffs to try and protect the consumers. Of course, beyond July, you'll then see an increase on your bill because we passed the tariffs in June and then we implement them in July. But what customers do not see is that your winter tariff, in terms of your consumption of electricity, becomes higher because people consume more electricity in winter. And secondly, what customers don't see, at peak hour, currently it's now outside the peak hour, between mornings at 6 until around 9 is peak hour. We don't charge you what ESCOM charges us. So we buy at about 6 rand, 4 rand, between 4 rand and 6 rand from ESCOM. But when we charge you, we still bill you at the tariff that was passed by the city when we passed our budget in May. So it does not change. If our tariff is 1 rand 40, it remains at 1 rand 40, regardless of the times at which ESCOM sells us the electricity. We're trying as much as we can to keep the tariffs as low as possible so that our customers can afford. But the cost of electricity overall has become too high for our customers. And it's something that I think the country needs to find ways together, municipalities and national government, on how do we reduce the cost of electricity. Because in reality, it's too high. It's even heavy on the middle class. I also looked at my bill this morning. And I realized for electricity alone, it was sitting at about 4.5. And I realized it's too high. And it means I must do some management somewhere, especially of geysers, that needs to be managed to reduce the 4,500 on a monthly basis is too high. So we need to find ways on dealing with that. I think I've responded it adequately on the tariffs. The billing remains a challenge. You do have instances where a customer is estimated more than 3 months, or even for a year, the customer is still on estimation, when in fact, by law or our credit control policy, we should only estimate you for a period not exceeding 3 months. So that the 4th month, it must be on actuals. So we do experience a lot of problems in that environment. But what we have now done, I think effectively 1st of July, we have taken billing back to entities. Now, City Power is now responsible for electricity billing in Johannesburg, directly responsible. The same way Joburg Water is now responsible. Previously, the billing was done by the Revenue Department. So we've taken it back, though the Revenue Department will remain in issuing the invoice or the bill. So we're trying to see if we can correct the problems and the queries that are there. But we're also saying by taking them back to entities, it might help us to resolve the queries much quicker. Because the longer we take ourselves and not resolving the query, it affects our revenue. Because a customer can't pay until we have resolved the query. So that's how we're trying to change that environment and to better it into the future. But it's no excuse that there's a lot of customers that still have electricity or water queries that we are not resolving as urgently as we should as a municipality. But we're trying our level best to improve on our turnaround times in resolution of queries. We have launched a program called Lukisa. The intention of it is to deal with collection and deal with resolution of queries much faster so that our customers can have a better experience of the city. I've answered all the questions. I'll leave those that were directed to Dr. Smith. No, there's no budget for the bomb squad. Who asked? No, there's no budget, Karen. These people are Joburgers. So the first decision they made, that they are Joburgers, we want to contribute to our city. Now, if tomorrow Karen calls us and says, I love this city so much, I don't want it to collapse, I've got a specific interest to contribute, we'll then say, welcome Karen, come on board, help us turn around the city. So that's exactly what happened with these colleagues. They were phoning me saying, we can't allow Joburg to collapse, what can we do? And I said, no, come, I'll create a team. Then they came. If Karen wants to come to help us change the narrative as a communicator, you're more than welcome to come. So we're not restrictive. We've got a lot of skill sets there. And I don't think we can exclude any Joburger who wants to contribute. You'll see in the resolutions we took at our mayor and Portland November, we said we must create partnerships with the private sector, individuals, and civil society. Because we believe every Joburger has a contribution to make to push back urban decay and make Johannesburg a better city once more. So you are all welcome to contribute in whichever way you'd wish to contribute, including telling us and writing the stories of things that we don't see, so that we can go and respond to those issues as quickly as we can. So you're more than welcome, and we still say to the entire Joburg community, let's all work together to make Joburg great, regardless on where you are or where you are positioned at that particular time. That is
good morning, colleagues. There's one question that was asked, where do we get the queries from? Majority of them come from mayor's office, because residents write to the mayor, and others the mayor brings them from the council itself. I'll give an example about Elders. It came from the council, where residents are complaining in El Dorado Park that sewer was running in front of their houses for the past 7 years. And so we as Bomb Squad listened to that, and then they requested the MD to come along with us. We went straight to the MD of. Second is that Homestead Park, which is just next to Langlaagte, the residents of Homestead Park wrote to the mayor that their park, the residents were walking in their own park. They've restored the park, now belongs to them. They say in the beginning of November, they had 14 stalls in the place, but on Sunday, they invited me. They had 70 stalls at Homestead Park, 70 stalls. And you could see that children were happy, jumping around, and it was such a good vibe, you know. And they were saying, thanks to the mayor that he removed all the migrants, he removed all the squatter people who built squatter camps there. And that's exactly what we need to do. And we are saying that everybody must take part in cleaning the city itself. And so that's exactly what we're doing. And we get calls. For instance, Karim called me about the problems that he had in terms of water. And then we needed to call the MD. The MD is going to call her today. He said, no, the water has been having problems for the past 3-4 years. And so I said, fine, send a message to the MD of water. The MD said, give me her number, I'll call her, we'll resolve the issues. All these things can be done. It's just the will that we're saying. We're not taking over from the MDs, we're working with MDs and EDs, we're working directly with them. And we are patient with them, but we tell them that this must happen today. By the end of the day, we need a report that it should happen. And it should have happened. That's what we're doing. Thanks.
Thank you, Dr. Zigalala. I'm going to take the last round of questions. I'll start there with Tembisa.
Thanks. My name is Tembisa from Africa Asia Dialogues. Mr. Mayor, I'm not quite sure whether you're aware of the video that was produced by the BBC, which is making the rounds about the hijacked city. An extremely damaging video which is gaining traction rapidly. I just want to get your response because the timing is quite interesting with the G20 and what you're trying to do in the CO project. Now suddenly we have this video that is sensation. I think it requires a response. The second question I have is, if you are allowed, can we get the names of organizations or names of the CEOs that are involved in the project? We have the CEO acronym in the project. I haven't heard of any names of organizations. If you are allowed, and of course, unless they don't want to be disclosed. Thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity, Mr. Mayor. Good morning, and team. My name is Thabiso Khalebe from SABC News. Mine is very simple one about the court battle between the hawkers and the Johannesburg Metro regarding their operation. Is it not a threat? We hear that you are on a mission to clean up the city, and now there's a court battle between the city and the hawkers. Is it not a threat? Are you not concerned about this court battle as you are trying to clean up the city? Thank you very much.
Hi everyone, my name is Jeremy Swanda from Joburg News. It's a new media venture. I have two questions for the mayor. The first one is regarding the street vendors. The question is really about the volume of street vendors. The judgment from the High Court was that the city has a responsibility to allocate where the street vendors are supposed to sell their stuff, but noticeably there is quite a large number of street vendors. So does the city has enough space to allocate everybody without overcrowding the pavements? That's the first question. Then the second question is both for the mayor and the bomb squad. And this is very specific to a community in Brafishaville Extension 4. In fact, there are two sections of Brafishaville Extension 4 that don't have electricity right now. One of those sections has not had electricity for nearly a year, since the beginning of the year in January. I used to live there, and I had to move because of that. As I speak right now, we are in the 11th month of the year, they still don't have electricity. Then there is another section, again in Brafisha Extension 4, that for the past 4 months also has not had electricity. Speaking to the people there, they claim that they have written to the mayor, to their councillor, they've tried everything, but they never get any kind of feedback. So I would like to ask whether that has been brought to your attention as the bomb squad, or the mayor, if that has been brought to your attention. If yes, what have you done? If no, what are you going to do now that now it has been brought to your attention? Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Good morning, Mayor and the team. Mayor, I'm not sure whether to say thank you to the bomb squad or to your team. On my way home, just there by the M1, Besnogi, you know, the street light, as in 2 street lights, have been operating for 14 months, but they are operating now. Not sure it's G20 or the bomb squad, but if it's you, doctors, okay, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. Thank you. Mayor, your response on the vandals, recent incident, you know, on the signage as well as the street lights around Nazareth, G20, and then also, Mayor, you say nice things about development within the city, and for sure, you know, I'm one of the journalists who's been vocal about the dirty city. On behalf of the other journalists, we request maybe a tour based on what has been done, because where we are, the city is still dirty. We're also scared to go within the city, but you know, the progress that has been made, if maybe we can take on a tour and go and witness that. Lastly, if you can answer this, Mayor, a threat to remove you. Are you talking to other political parties to keep you, or are you prepared to leave? I know you will say that if the ANC put you there, you'll still be there, but obviously you need the majority and the support. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. If you could just tell us who is in the bomb squad. I don't know if it's a revolving group of people or if there's standard members. And then I was just thinking now, if the mayor was removed, the bomb squad still remains, correct? Thank you.
Hi, it's Nkosinathi Shazi again. It's just a follow-up, Mr. Zigalala. Are there any threats towards South Africa ahead of the G20 Summit? I'd like to get that on record as the bomb squad.
Silva Sivia from UFM. I just wanted to ask on... Okay, can I continue?
Yes, you can.
Okay. I just wanted to ask on the cleanness of the city. We've seen difference, even in Hillbrow, where it's usually dirty. Going forward, will it remain clean? Because we've seen prior 2010 World Cup, the city was cleaner, and after that it went back to, should I say, default position. So can you reassure residents of Joburg that will remain clean?
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
Mr. Zigalala, do you guys actually deal with bombs? Like the word bomb squad, I am so sorry. I really mean this because we need to inform the public. Are you guys an actual bomb squad, or is it just the name? I'm so sorry. Thank you.
Who's not? How old are you? Let me start with this question. The term bomb squad we stole from the rugby term. When the teams are playing and the other one is battling to get things run. Then they call on the bomb squad, which is a combination of particular players to pull up the team. So we then used that term to pull up the work that we're doing in the team so that the work can then be accelerated. That's where the term comes from. But in governance language, it's normally called a rapid response team. Now everybody used that term. I thought let's find a unique name to capture the imagination of society. And we then said bomb squad. The rugby people will understand much better what is it. But Bosnati is not from the Eastern Cape, it's from KwaZulu-Natal. So rugby is not their sports. The second part, in terms of progress that is made in relation to the G20, there's an issue of the women that wants to come to the G20 on some women thing around GBV and so on. So the Minister of Women is busy with the team, with the national leadership of those NGOs that are mobilizing around issues of GBV so that they can allocate them a specific area and time for them to raise their grievances. So there's a term that is used, I just forgot it, where they set up a center for civil society would want to raise issues. But there's also a civil society platform that is running parallel to the G20, where civil society will engage. There was also a threat by trade unions, especially some in Johannesburg, but the matters have since been resolved and tabled to them. We're still awaiting their response, which was in relation to the salary scales, which the city had resolved last year, and council approved that all our employees are now at level 10. Those that were not pushed from where they were supposed to be, they are now at level 10. All what was outstanding was then to pay what is outstanding for the workers who are now at level 10. And there were certain proposals through mediation that were put to some, which we think the proposal are favorable to the workers and the workforce of the city. So we don't expect any threat of that nature because not. But yes, there's a challenge in terms of vandalism. So there's been elements who went out to vandalize advertisement of the G20. It's general vandalism that unfortunately the police could not arrest those people at that time because they were not aware. It was done during the night, but the investigations by the police will continue to arrest. But we must send a message to South African citizens that this type of events are a platform, one, that position your country, both on matters of the economy and socially. So they're very important platforms because South Africa then gets into the world platform. Tourism is one of the benefits that we're going to realize even after the G20, with people wanting to come to Johannesburg. I'll make an example. I hosted the U20 in September. And in our program, I requested the Joburg Theatre to host Sarafina the musical. I took all the mayors and the guests to Soweto Theatre to witness Sarafina. I traveled for the C40 last week for the climate change issues in Brazil, in Rio. When I arrived at Rio, I met with the Consular General of South Africa to Rio. And he said the Brazilians want to see Sarafina because one of the deputy mayors from Sao Paulo who attended the U20 attended Sarafina. Now I'm praying daily that we sign a deal, because those young boys and girls who are in that cast, should they be invited for a year in Brazil, it means good money for them, it means exposure, it means employment for a year. Now these platforms are very important because there's a return on investment. And we must not see them as an expenditure, but we must see them as something that puts our country on a map. So very soon the Consular General will come back, because now they're talking between the Consular General and the CEO of the Joburg Theatre. And we are likely to sign an agreement. And once we sign an agreement, they might be in Brazil for a year, because Brazil is big on theater. Now these platforms, even myself going to Brazil, somebody may say the mayor is traveling wara, wasting taxpayers' money. The media will write that. When it's probably about 100K, my flights and accommodation. But what is it that I bring back? When I traveled last year, went to The Hague, I came back this year, the Netherlands government gave us a grant of 540 million rands. And we don't realize that these platforms create value for us. In the G20, the businesses met, local and international businesses, and they're beginning to align and share experiences so that they can share business opportunities. So we must send a message to South Africans. Yes, we have a high unemployment rate, but through these platforms, we are likely to get investments coming into the country, which will help us to reduce unemployment in the country. So there's no threat so far, Nkosinathi. Vote of no confidence, yes, the motion has been sent through the council processes. It will then be processed through what we call a programming committee. Once programming agrees that it complies, then it will then be tabled in the November council, the motion of no confidence. It's a matter that I would suggest that the ANC will then handle with all other parties, whether it goes through, but the ANC will defend against the motion of no confidence. So vandals I've dealt with. In terms of traders, we've been registering and verifying them. When Siri took us to court, they had 500 and something on their list. They didn't put their passports, neither their asylum or refugee numbers. Now let me tell you a story. The court said register and verify in 14 days. To today, we are sitting at 93 traders, which begins to present a particular problem. That we're right by addressing the problem of traders. Who is the rest of this balance that was trading there? So they were trading illegal in the city. So the number has to be regulated. If you don't regulate the number by issuing out permits and a particular number of permits, then you'll have everyone setting up stands without control. So the number is regulated. You can't go beyond a certain number in terms of trade in the city. We must regulate the number. Now there's an issue about electricity. Now, the issue there is transformers. So the transformer would have blown up, exploded. Why? There is illegal connection. then you overload the transformer. Then the transformer explodes. Now we must replace the transformer. It's an ESCOM supplied area. It's not a city supplied area. Now the engagement thus far between the councillor in the ward and ESCOM has been consistent to an extent at which there's about 10 transformers that are not working in that ward. Extension 4, it's actually in ward 49. And the intervention is to then get those transformers. So ESCOM must then have a budget and go and buy. And in buying, they are also on the waiting list for the transformer from their suppliers to arrive at ESCOM and then be delivered. But as part of managing that environment, ESCOM has also insisted that communities must take responsibility. Otherwise, it will be a vicious, endless cycle of replacement of transformers unless you also force the community to take responsibility. So the community has to pay a certain amount, and once 70% have paid, then the process of reinstalling of the transformer then happens. Otherwise, we'll continue to overload and explode. But if we are forced to contribute, it means we ourselves are going to ensure that we monitor that this transformer is never overloaded. So we can give you the time and update on when these transformers will be replaced once we've got a report from ESCOM. But there's an engagement. The ward councillor there is Councillor Bolani, who has been actively engaging the ESCOM on the matter. Kiri Arabile. James, street vendors have answered. There are 93. We are sorting out that environment. And over and above, James, the city also runs an SMME support program, which is training them, assisting them on paperwork and etc. etc. So there's a lot that we are doing in that environment. The documentary on hijacked buildings, let me put it in this fashion. We took a decision that we are going to work on the bad buildings. Now this comes also at the background of the Constitutional Court, which said once you remove and evacuate people, you must find them alternative accommodation. We have been battling with finding alternative accommodation, and that's what is slowing our progress in terms of dealing with this. So we're meeting with property owners almost weekly to try and see if the private sector can come on board to provide temporary accommodation. Then we can have our program of dealing with bad buildings moving much, much quicker. Because once we can resolve that loop, I can assure you we'll move quick. We already have 12 court orders that are waiting. We only did 2 buildings, Moth, I can't remember the other one, and we removed people. So it required Vanin Court or something. So we need to ensure that we sort out that environment. It's just as unfortunate that because we are hosting the G20, there will be people who would want to undermine the efforts of the country and give a reflection of the negative things. I was in Brazil for a whole week. There was no negative reporting about the fight in the favelas. Right now there's a huge war in the favelas. They're shooting and killing each other. Nothing was reported, even at conference. We're not told about it. was they are deliberate about hosting these events. All what they had to ensure was that all the guests and the vicinity where conference is properly secured. And none of us were taken to the favelas. We were here. But no one talks about the shooting and the killing. Even in their TV, they report it as if it's something in passing. Because they are aware that the money that is brought by the visitors coming into Brazil and Rio on that particular week is going to leave a huge investment. There's bad buildings in Rio. Bad buildings. But there was no documentary talking about the bad buildings. So it's just unfortunate that in our country, at times we have not become so patriotic to understand that problems are there in any society. And our task is to try at all times to address those problems, but not undermine our ability as a country to grow because of these problems. So we'll continue to grow. It's just unfortunate they played that documentary. But it also says to us as the city of Johannesburg, can you move on this thing? Can you move as quick as you can to address this problem? But there's about 400 and odd bad buildings and hijacked buildings in Johannesburg. So we need to move fast. Government-owned accounts for just around 45, which is city and another province and national, around 40, and the balance is privately owned. We need to do something quicker to address this thing. So we are on track. We just need to close up that loop of temporary accommodation, then we will move faster. There's no court that, the court was helping us to interpret the law. Then the court came to a conclusion. City of Johannesburg and Siri go and agree on a settlement on the first date of appearing. We then put proposals, which eventually after 3 hours, Siri rejected. On Sunday before the Monday, for the second appearance, Siri then sent a settlement agreeing to all the proposals who were put in place. And that is why on Monday when we got to court, the judge only had to rubber stamp our agreement. So that's where we are with the courts. Ki arabile everything. Peter, let's do the tour. And let me explain it also. Not all places are now clean. We started with the Ellis Park precinct, it's proper. When De Villiers North and Wanderers, Delvas is proper. We want to maintain it proper. Lilian Goyi is proper. Gandhi Square precinct is proper. And the New Town precinct. There are precincts that are still bad. So we're going to take you to the bad and take you to the nice ones, so that you see that the bad can easily be transformed to be good. And I'll take you to places that you, as Joburgers and journalists, never thought they exist in Johannesburg. Beautiful places right at the center of Harahara. I don't know how to explain Harahara in English. Forgive me. So we are going to take you. You must tell us when you're ready. This week we're doing the CEOs. We can give it next week, where we can invite you on a walkabout, the nicer place and the bad place. And you can then see if we are making progress on our program to reclaim precinct by precinct. Because you can't do this elephant at once. You must chow it there, bit by bit, until we conclude this thing. Kil Arabi then, there's no question that was not answered. Huh? Which ones? No, we have invited, and at this stage, we can confirm that 77 unlisted company CEOs have confirmed. You will see them tomorrow. Please come at Joburg Park. Then you will see which companies are there, and we'll unveil them even tomorrow. But for now, it's 77 listed companies. But over and above the 77 listed, there's other companies that are not listed that have also confirmed that they will also be coming. And then on Sunday, I met companies in Soweto by accident. They had a meeting at 1947 restaurant. There's a nice restaurant on Villara Street. We had lunch there with some of my colleagues, comrades. Then I bumped into these CEOs and they said, as you see us meeting here, we are preparing for Wednesday. So we are bringing all companies from Soweto to the CEO cleanup campaign. So it has created a lot of interest amongst companies in Johannesburg. But what we want to do, Tembisa, it's actually pronounced Tembisa. It's not Tembisa, not Tembisa. We want CEOs and companies in Johannesburg to get to a point where they say, we are interested in this precinct to ensure that traffic lights are constantly working. Is there a need for backup power? Do we have? No. Can we then say one of our members in the street who has a building there will then give backup should there be electricity off, but the street light, the traffic lights will continue to work. Our company will help to maintain all the potholes in the road. So I want to get business to a point where they also contribute towards making the city better. And we believe through their CSIs and other instruments, they may be able to help us get the city to be right. By doing so, we're protecting the investment. I'll make an example. There's an organization called TAF. Their investment in Johannesburg CBD is over 5 billion. The total investments by business in the CBD of Johannesburg is over 50 billion. Now we have to work together between private sector and government to protect that investment. Otherwise, if we don't do, they would have lost 50 billion if we allow that city to decay. So we can't allow it to decay. And business is saying the same thing. We can't allow this thing to decay and collapse. We have our money invested here. So can we work with you as the city to support you, also support us so that we protect this investment? So that's what we are trying to do in the inner city. And it requires men and women who have a vision into the future, so that we can also attract investments into the inner city of Johannesburg. Imagine we wake up one day, don't write this one, Alex, don't write it. It's off record. Please, Alex. We wake up one day and we see a mini Dubai in the CBD of Johannesburg. It is possible. We still have high skyscrapers, something like that, in Joburg. We can do even more. So let's have that ambition that this city is going to look like Dubai. So that there's no need for young people to go to Dubai because there will be a Dubai here with what is that tallest building in Dubai? Something Khalifa they like. So that we have it here, and we are lucky that Transnet is no longer selling the Carlton Center. So let's make the Carlton Center better and to benefit South Africans. Thank you very much.
Dr. Zigalala? Shazi asked? Osman. Okay. And then there was a question about the members of the bomb squad. Who are they? Ma'am Vicky? Ma'am Vicky.
Thank you very much. In total, we have 13 individuals that are members of the Johannesburg Bomb Squad. The mayor's already indicated that it's a rapid response team. So the first one, you know, Dr. Snuki Zigalala, come from the same environment. He's a guru in your environment. He was the former CEO of SABC. The other one sitting next to me is Lebu Ramulibuledi. She's from economic background. She's assisting us when we deal with economic issues. We have Blake Mosley Fatula, who was a former city manager in Tshwane, and he was also the executive in the city of Johannesburg. You have Mavela Dlamini. Much has been said about Mavela Dlamini, who is the former city manager of the city of Johannesburg. He was also the MD of JRA. If you can recall, he's the guy that started the entire Soweto during the Masondo time. He's an engineer by profession. You also have Trevor Fowler, an engineer by profession, who is the former city manager of Johannesburg. You have Gerald Dumas, who is the former city manager of Johannesburg Water, an engineer also. You also have Pilisiwe Twala Tau, who is currently the director at Salga for the Gauteng region. She was also in the city of Johannesburg, responsible for community development. You have Vicky Shupin. I am Vicky Shupin. Yes, an executive, former executive in the city. Highly, can I praise myself? It was on a lighter note. Vicky Shupin, but I'm also an advisor to the executive mayor of the city of Johannesburg. You have Reggie Poto. Reggie Poto is the former group CFO of the city of Johannesburg. Currently, he is the city manager of Kibela. Those that understand the transport department, they will know the whole Kibela transport department. They normally build trains with the mayor. I'm not sure if they still do. They do anything else except building trains. You have a principal, well, he's no longer a principal, but you have Busani Ngaweni. He was a principal of the National School of Governance, and he's also a member of the audit committee. So a very highly experienced individual. He's also the member of the bomb squad. You also have Dr. Kwezi Mabaso, who is a think tank member in the Department of Trade, Industry, Competition, and he is also very key on issues of the economy in the whole country. So he's very knowledgeable on those issues. We also have Dr. Gumani Chimololo. He is also an economist. He was also one of the executives in the city. I think he was an advisor to the MNC of Public Safety. You also have Audrey Mutupi, who is representing the business. She is the CEO of a company called Systemic Logic Group, but she's done a lot of work in terms of advising us or ensuring that we get the business together. Hence, we're even having the CEO's campaign cleanup starting from tomorrow. So basically, those are the members that are currently members of the bomb squad. The executive mayor has also opened it up to yourselves that Karen Duplessis and others who want to raise their hands, feel free to do that. Thank you.
Thank you, Ma'am Vicky. Thank you to the members of the media, members of the bomb squad for making time. The mayor has to go to 4 ways to plant, I think it's 3,000 trees. So thank you so much, members of the media. Thank you.
Let's go to the driver.